I'll bring here for an instant Sylvana's body, and I'll show you. Let's select here snake hook. This brush is quite interesting for this case, since it lets you play with these ends. And it makes the mesh adapt better to the surface. The surface where it rests. For instance, in this case, the body could be like this. Let's select this section. Over here, I'll make this end to be different. By holding Alt, let's smooth this a bit. I'll select this one again. By holding Alt, it makes sure it moves over the surface and avoids overlapping. Then, like that should do. Good. Now, I'll select Z Modeler and watch what I'll do here. I'll enable here for an instant Poly F and stand over a polygon, space bar. Let's head to Extrude and Poly Loop. What I'll generate here is some kind of extrusions, which will let me add the feeling of hair fibers. Obviously, I hover over the orange line, and it shows the direction towards the polygroup would be generated. Because if I do it here, for instance, I would generate it towards the other direction. For instance, let's see over here. You see? I'm doing it here towards this direction all the time. Sometimes down here, as you can see, it spells the end. Then we have to smooth it gently. So if I press Ctrl D, it brings the illusion that's hair fibers. Let's head to another hair section. This one, for instance. Solo, and the same thing. Well, now it's up to you, but over here I'll do the following. Ctrl D, notice how it looks already. If I, over there where it is, hit delete lower, it collapses it there and get a new subdivision. So I get smaller fibers in order to make it look with more detail. It obviously depends on the amount of detail you wish to add. Here it looks way better. Let's fix the ends. That sometimes, due to the extrusion, we get some imperfections. Alright, press Ctrl D and this is what we get. Let's check what we have so far. For instance, this hair section, I'd like to show you something. It's one of the most visible sections and it would be important to get it much better. So what I'll do is to apply Ctrl D and there I'll hit delete lower and I'll make it have more detail. The problem is Poly F. In order to get better polygons, take some in and some out. Using pinch, let's fix this a bit. Ctrl D. And there we can see when we apply this to each hair section, we'll get a good result and looks great. I'll fix this end a bit first using pinch and using move. I'll add a little wave. Over here I was leaving behind this section. The ones that are kind of hidden, it's better to take them to the front so they are visible. If we don't see them, then we better delete them, since that adds polygons and the idea is to get a light mesh. So over here, for instance, I'd apply the same thing. I'd set two subdivisions, hit delete lower, delete higher, head to the brush I was using, Z modeler, and since we've got it selected, now, if we wanted to make some little fibers, we could also use this one. This is called curve tube, and this one is called curve multitube. It's like for making little loose hair. So I'll make them over here, for instance. I'll make another little hair here, but I didn't like it there. Rather like that. A long one. It could be there. Alright, select and go back and make it sharper by smoothing it. Now we adjust it using move. Let's select snake hook for an instant. This brush is a bit more flexible for adding shapes to this little hair. Alright. In these cases, for instance, let's say Sylvanas will be seen from here. There we would have to select this and modify on the front and behind as well these fibers. I'll go back using Z modeler, stand on a polygon, extrude, poly loop. Alright. Yeah, remove the subdivisions, delete higher. We have to make it on the front and on the sides. Then, after all this, I'll delete this head. I don't need it anymore. We can fill this shape with hair. Now you can go ahead and complete the rest of the hair. You know the technique already. That's it for this tutorial. See you on the next one.